Hey, I'm Matt Simoneau, founder of Amp.io, and we're helping DTC brands double and triple email and SMS signup rates every time. Better list growth, more revenue, and lower CPAs. And at my previous agency, we worked exclusively in pop-ups for the last 8 years. We're working with brands getting millions in traffic like FabFitFun, Jenni Kayne, True Religion, The Knot. We split tested everything, totally dialed this in. And what we did is we turned our greatest hits into templates, and then we productized everything. We purpose-built Amped for creating pop-ups, and we built an interface that works more like Figma or Webflow than a clunky pop-up builder. And so why not use the free pop-ups? It's about performance and design. You kind of get what you pay for. And our clients have already tried pop-ups through Klaviyo, Attentive, PostScript until they find us. And if we can double or triple sign-up rates, the ROI is a no-brainer. So you can start with one of these fully designed templates, and we're constantly launching new templates and updating you on the best of what's working right now. But you can go in the editor, grab one of these templates, and the only way that it's possible to create these kinds of templates that are this designed and customized is through the editor that we've created, which is inside of Amped. So it looks like this, and well, let's dive in and I'll start showing you some more. Okay, right away when you log in, you've got total visitors, visitors shown in campaign, and then emails captured and phone numbers captured right up top. That's a performance overview across all campaigns. And then you can go into a campaign and you can get performance stats based on that one particular campaign. You've got a draft in progress. You can see your split tests side by side, how they performed, phone, tablet, desktop. You can even open up and see all analytics for every single thing that someone clicked if you want to geek out over the numbers, which we do. And then you've got your targeting right here. Started if it's an anonymous visitor, time on page of 2 seconds. You can do page targeting. And then Amped comes with really sensible defaults like stop it if they place an order, or maybe show it once per session. And then we have some safeguards if you're going to run an entrance, an exit, a cart campaign, just make sure that people don't see pop-up after pop-up. And with that targeting, you can obviously change out different segments. If you're going to reuse different rules, you can add a start condition if, and I'm just going to do this for now, maybe the traffic source is TikTok and Facebook, whatever you're wanting to target there, you've got access to it. Maybe you need to do some geolocation if they've seen another campaign, number of sessions, even things like reading cookies on the site, or even running some custom JavaScript if you need to do something really, really fancy. You've got access to do it. And then on those segments, we're just going to go ahead and cancel that. We don't need to push any changes live at the moment. And then on those segments, you can create sets of rules. Amped comes with 3 pre-built segments. So already known visitors is sort of, if they visited any of these pages, then you would know that they're an already known visitor. Anonymous might mean that they're not in the already known visitors. We haven't got their email. And then we can actually read the Klaviyo snippet that's on the site and know that the Klaviyo identity is unknown. So that means that we also can know who they are, so we can put them in this anonymous visitor segment. So when we dive into the editor, this is where we're creating a new draft. We can set up a split test. You can test triggers as well, but let's go in and I'll show you the editor that really makes this all possible. So you'll notice that it works in steps 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it is fully mobile responsive. So you're really starting with getting the mobile size down perfectly. All the templates are fully mobile first. And then this is the same content. So it's one viewport. You're just viewing both at the exact same time. So you're setting your styles, always working on that base viewport. And then when you go to the larger one, you can dial in, maybe you're changing the font's the size or the way that things are laid out. And Amped already is pulling the fonts off of your website. So it's already available in there. You can add in fonts if you need to, but it probably has already scraped them off your site. I'm moving around, scrolling, zooming the same way I would in something like Figma. And then it's really the attention to detail. So after doing this so many times, and once you get in here and start using Amped, you'll notice these features are going to save you a ton of time. So even something like that background color, if I want to change that color, you'll notice I have all those different steps, but these are linked up to styles. So if you're familiar with how CSS works, it's kind of like a class. Our spin is a little different. It makes it a little bit easier. So you don't have to know CSS, but if you do know CSS, you'll know how this all works. So here's the overlay with the background. I can go ahead and change that if I want to give it more of a greenish tint. You'll notice how it's changing on every single one of these. along with my primary CTA. If I go and I grab that one and we change this to a different color, maybe that is slightly more on brand for us. Depends on your brand, obviously. But you'll see how I'm just going and changing those things. AMP's auto-saving every couple seconds. But you can really create any flow. You can create anything you want. You can go in here. You've got access to all the layers. So you always want to be looking at your layers and what you're controlling. So I could grab an element, drag in another line of text, and there we are. It's all about the containers and how that content is laid out inside of that container. And AMP is no code. So you've really got the ability to edit this as if it were code. So the power of code without having to write it, as some would say. And then split testing, like you saw, is as easy as clicking a button. You could take out a split test, create a new split test. It's taking a screenshot of it on your site so you can see exactly what it looks like. And we could duplicate it, split test it, change those colors out. But really that zero-party data. So here we're using a checkbox element, which is setting these different choices. And then we're going through and getting email, SMS, and then in that case, reply Y. The integrations are synced up seamlessly. So this is sending to Klaviyo, Attentive. You can change the list on a particular variation if you're going to test the incentive, something like that. And just touching on that zero-party data kind of mini quiz angle, this is a great way to pre-purchase, start surveying your visitors and understanding who they are better, identifying them into particular personas. So in this case, you've got 10% off to claim your discount, sure, problem you're trying to solve. And then as they identify, they're clicking on that button and we're setting a user property. You could set this to any property that's going to show up in Klaviyo, PostScript, Attentive, under the custom profile property. You can name it whatever you want. And then now you've got that data. As soon as I'm putting in my email, phone number, that data, we're kind of keeping a progressive profile on the AMP side and then passing that into whatever you're using on the sending side. We're identifying that up on the front end, but there's no profile yet to actually understand who they are. And you can even create as many steps as you want. A lot of the examples I showed are kind of this same flow, which is a great flow. And you could add in another question. So in this case, I'm just going to make a quick edit because we don't need to make a new draft. We're not trying to launch a test at the moment. And then I could take this, drag it up, and we could adjust the question. So it could be, hey, what problem are you trying to solve? And who are you shopping for? And start data capture. Actually asking more questions, showing some really interesting initial results. And you would think that maybe this is putting more friction in between capturing that data. And that's just not the case. So in a recent split test, they were testing yes, no, which is a great method instead of just going straight for email capture, but getting them to actually say, yes, I want this. But even the next level is starting to get some zero-party data on them, surveying them. Everybody wants to talk about themselves. And if you think about this, when you go to a website, if you're just, a white square to put your email in the box versus, hey, tell us about yourself, sort of personalizing that experience a little bit better, the results show too. So yes, no versus sort of the zero-party data capture, 20% versus 22%. This was already very optimized and amped, but you can even see right here, your traditional great campaign, phenomenal opt-in rate. This is very high. Not every account is going to do 20%. 10 plus is something that is very, very common. It just depends also on how much consideration is involved in the product too. If you're selling jewelry, it's going to be a lot less. But I think every single time we can stand behind the statement of help us understand where you're at. We can at a minimum double, if not triple, where you are to improve list growth. And in addition to being able to create as many steps as you want, you'll also notice that there are these follow-up steps over here. And I didn't touch on this earlier, but that allows you to create more of a workflow. So we have obviously the two viewports, the same content. And then over here, it says, if this step is closed, go to the follow-up on step 1. And that is this kind of pill shape over here. And you could create anything you want over here. You could have a picture of a shoe, which some of our clients actually do. And you could have this slide up. You've got animation on this. So in this case, it's sliding up after a couple of seconds. And then the action on this is to go back to the parent main step. So you're sort of if they close it, they're getting this in the corner. Amped has a screenshot of the site in the background. Sometimes, depending on how the site is created, that screenshot might come in a little funny, but that's just so you can start to get an idea of what it's going to look like. And then as I click this, it's bringing me back into the flow. I close it, you've got the follow-up, and then you can even change what that follow-up is as they go through the process, and you're bringing them right back. So if I start here, I answer the question, I go to email and I close it, I go here, and then when I click it, it brings me back into the flow exactly where I left off. From the types of data that you can capture, you've really got access to just about everything. You could throw in a drop down with setting a bunch of values in there and style that exactly how you want. You could do birthday. You could do really the list is kind of endless. You could do radio options, checkboxes, first name, last name, birthday, any kind of text input, anything custom, and then you've got access to everything. So let's go look at those integrations. All right, back on the dashboard, I'm in Aloha. They've got some great campaigns running, getting that zero-party data, what they're interested in, rocking a 10+% opt-in rate. But when we go over to integrations, what you'll see is in every account, you have the option of installing it through the Shopify app, or you can manually install it through a code snippet. If you're using Google Tag Manager or something like that, Amped works on any website. So it's not just Shopify, but if you're using Shopify, you can install it through the app and then enable it in your theme. Turning on Klaviyo is as simple as adding in an API key. All the data syncs. You're not losing any data by using Amped pop-ups. All that on-site activity tracking is all there. We're just sending events through the front end and the back end. So you're not losing any data. You're just driving more subscribers into Klaviyo, PostScript, Attentive, and the PostScript integration is great as well. Building fantastic partnership with them. You put in an API key, select a default keyword, and then in your campaigns, when you are capturing this data, you could customize the list. Just again, we're just gonna do a quick edit. You could send to a specific list. You could add in a profile property. And then again, any of this data that you're capturing through some of these button clicks here, where you're setting an Amped preference that goes directly into Klaviyo, PostScript, Attentive, whatever you're using, that all syncs up. And pricing starts at only $100 a month. It goes up based on how much traffic you're driving. We've got a fully managed option if you want us to do all of the setup for you and do it totally custom and split test it all the time. It is a great option if you want to be totally hands-off, but you have everything you need to be successful in the platform. We've got onboarding videos, we've got great support, and if you get stuck, just reach out. If you want us to check over a publication, or if you need help with the design, just dialing it in, getting it perfect, we will absolutely help you get this where you want it to be. Myself, the rest of the team, they're fantastic, and we just want to see you be successful. If you're ready to take list growth to a whole new level and have pop-ups that you can actually be proud of, you can go ahead and sign up for a trial for Amped right now in the top right-hand corner of the homepage, and you can schedule a demo if you'd like to talk with me or someone from my team. We're happy to strategize with you and help you get this exactly how you want it. And if you even want to start browsing templates, you can pick one that you like, decide how you want to use that template. Maybe you're using PostScript and you just want to do phone input field for the capture method. You can preview that template directly in your browser to see exactly what that's going to look like. You can open it up in the editor in the view only mode before you even sign up to start exploring. You can see exactly how this works. And then when you're ready, you can hit use this template, put in your website, create an account, and you can launch a trial of Amped right there. Thank you for checking out Amped. Reach out if you have any questions at all. We'd love to dive in with you, and we cannot wait to watch you be more successful by leveraging Amped to create pop-ups you can actually be proud of to drive more revenue for your D2C brand.